Hi, this is Amy with Amy Astro. Thank you for watching my videos. I would love to hear your comments and suggestions for future videos. Please subscribe below, like, and share with your Astro friends. You can follow me on Facebook as Amy Astro to hear about my Astro adventures. In this video, I will finish the Elephant Nebula. And with all good intentions trying to explain everything in full detail, this video ran longer than I hoped. So I broke it into two parts. This video will combine filters and finish through noise reduction, and part 2 will follow soon. Well, welcome back everyone. Everything we have done so far has brought us to a single image on each filter, and today we're going to bring these together into a single image. So let's get started. We are dealing with 3 narrowband images. We've got the hydrogen alpha, the oxygen, and the sulfur. And what I've got to do right now is temporarily put these together so I can come up with a dynamic crop for my final image. So what I'm going to do is go to Pixel Math, and there's lots of other ways you can do that. I just happen to like Pixel Math, and I'm going to choose the expression editor. And the reason I'm choosing the expression editor, let's go back here. I want multiple. I don't want a single one. Let's go back to expression editor, is because all my images are lined up over here and I don't have to do any extra typing. So I am going to line these up as a Hubble palette, which is going to be the sulfur is red, the green is going to be hydrogen alpha, and the blue is going to be oxygen. And now I can, and I just double clicked on these to pop them up over here and say OK. Let's expand out our designation, or destination. I'm tongue-tied today. Destination. All right, and we're going to create a new image. Color space is going to be RGB, and this is just a temporary image. This is not going to be our final image. And let's say apply. And it's going to bring all 3 of these images together into a single one for us. Let's take a peek at it, and don't be freaked out when you see this. There he is in all its glory. Now there's lots of reasons this has happened, and one of them is because I have not done any automatic background extraction or anything like that on here. But the whole purpose of this is I wanted to see where the edges were, so I know what to crop out. So let's go up here to process, to geometry, and dynamic crop. This is one of those processes that you can't leave open. And I'm going to hit reset first, and notice how it gave me a nice line all the way around. Now check out this little box here. See how he's got a little nub on him? That one nub on top means I'm only going to be moving this line. And if there's a nub on the side, I got this line. But if I pull it in a corner and I got a nub on each side, I can drag each one. And I'm just going to bring them just inside of those lines that look like they are not really part of the image here. We'll just call them little furry edges here. Okay, so I like that crop, and that's what I'm going to use. So what I need you to do is come over here to your dynamic crop box, and where you have this triangle, it says new instance, click and drag that to your desktop and let go. I have just created a process here for next time. Now I'm just going to minimize this for right now and push them off to the side. And I just want to show you how this works. So I've got my hydrogen alpha. I'm going to shrink them just a little bit so you can see my edges. Let's get rid of these notifications here. And I'm going to click, drag. See, I've got the little check mark there now, and drop. And he is going to crop now for me. And he is cropping to the same size as this temporary image we put together. Let's do the same thing to sulfur. I'm going to shrink them just so you can see the edges. I want to get rid of those black ones there. I'm going to click on the process one, drag. I've got the check mark, and drop. And when I say drag, I am using the left mouse key. All right, let's do oxygen now. And click, drag, and drop. Now all 3 of these images have the exact same crop. Now, if I wanted to, I could finish that guy out with a check mark, and he'll think about it. but really this is just it's a wasted image. I'm not going to continue on with it anymore. So I'll reset, I'll close, yes, cancel the session, and I'm just going to shrink him and throw him off to the side. Okay, so now I have 3 images all with the same crop. What I need to do now is what's hard to see because they are all black and white, is I need to do an automatic background extraction on them. And it's best if I do them first rather than waiting until they're down here in this other image and they look like a mess. So let's get this open, automatic background extractor. And we're going to come down here to target image correction. And the correction I'm going to use is division. Let's see, if I hover over here, division, it explains to me why I'm using which one. You can play with both of them and see which one makes you happier. I'm going to discard, I'll tell you, I'm not going to discard the background. Normally I do, but this way you can see what it's going to get rid of right here. And typically I would discard the background and replace this image, but I'm going to leave them on this one time just so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to grab a new instance and drop right there and let it think. And it's going to create another oxygen file for me right now. Let's give this guy a stretch and see what he looks like. And these are meant to get rid of light pollution and vignettings and all kinds of stuff that your calibration files didn't get rid of. Oops, here we go. All right, you see all those circular things? All of that is hidden underneath your image, so it is getting rid of all of those for you. And it's leaving you with this nice flat image, which still looks kind of weird. Let's shrink sulfur up. It's getting in my way. Let's shrink this guy up. Too much on a screen. All right. Now this one here, let's turn that stretch off and re-stretch them. There we go. So now they look similar. And I don't know if you can tell, but this guy is just a little bit flatter, particularly look right here. And then compare it to this guy's corner. That's where you really will start seeing light pollutions and whatnot's getting in the way. And look at how this side is brighter, and then the fixed one is much darker. So overall, this is a flatter image, and it's nice to get rid of all those gradients. So let's throw this away. I'm going to keep this one, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close this file. And let's see. We're not going to save anything here. Close it. Yes. Okay, so this is going to be my new oxygen. And he's oxygen automatic background extraction. All right, and it's kind of a rinse and repeat deal. We do the same thing 3 times. Go to sulfur, automatic background, division. This time I'm going to say discard the model and replace my image. It saves me a step. New instance, drag, drop, release, and let it go. Right here, yep. It did the same thing nicely here. It darkened up my corners some. It got rid of some of this extra in here. Much nicer. So I'll minimize that. All right, grins and giggles. You want to see what this one looks like? Let's keep that other stuff there. Let's see what this one's gradients came out to be. Now really editing these are not that difficult. It's just time consuming for all these processes to run. All right, this is what the finished image is. And this is what we're getting rid of. Eek. Yeah, and you can almost see that when you're looking at these images. This side was really dark. Notice how dark he is there, and it chose to lighten it up. Let's see. I got rid of some darking up here and a bright spot there. You can almost see where it took place, but I don't need this, so let's delete it. I'm gonna close this out, and this is gonna be my new hydrogen alpha. Let's change the identifier. Let's knock it back to just HA. And we'll do the same for oxygen. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to save all of these new files, just so I have a starting place for the next step. You never know when you're going to have to start a project over. And this is a good place to have a starting point where everything has been cropped and automatic background extracted. Alright, so the next thing we need to do before we combine them into one image is to do something called linear fit. And the whole goal of linear fit is to get these all to be about the same brightness level all the way across. Because if not, one is going to contribute more than the other, and it's not going to come out as well as you would like them to. So to figure out the linear fit here, let's start with our histogram transformation. And I'm going to bump this up to 100 so we can see the graph. And let's choose hydrogen alpha right now. Now look at this curve. And remember the position of this curve on this graph. We are trying to find out which photo is the brightest. And that's going to be our defining factor here. Look at that. My mouse goes crazy sometimes and it bumps things up. There we go. Okay, so remember where hydrogen alpha is. Let's look at oxygen. Oxygen looks pretty close to where hydrogen alpha was. So which one's brighter? It could be a draw. All right, we'll call that a draw. Let's look at sulfur. Sulfur is significantly darker than oxygen. I'm going to say that the hydrogen alpha is brighter than the oxygen, but really it's a 50-50 guess here. Okay, so let's minimize that. Let's go to our linear fit function, and our reference image is going to be our hydrogen alpha image. So this process we're going to run on our oxygen and sulfur, but do not run it on your hydrogen alpha. I'm going to grab a new instance, drop it on sulfur, and it will make it the same brightness as our hydrogen alpha. Alright, so this one is done. Let's undo this stretch real quick and redo it. Get them on the same page as our hydrogen alpha. There he is. Computer says it's the same, so I'm just going to have to trust it. Let's do the same to oxygen. Let's hope it does not take as long as the last one. So I'm going to grab a new instance, drag, drop, release, and let it run. Alright, so we're back. Oxygen is done. Let's undo that stretch. Let's redo the stretch. And let's minimize the linear fit. And according to Mr. Computer Guy, these are all weighted the same. So now's the fun part. This is what we've all been waiting for. It is time to glue these guys together. Now I'm going to stick with pixel math only because I like pixel math. I'm not going to use a single expression. I want to see all of them, and I'm too lazy to type everything, so let's go to red. Is going to be sulfur, green will be hydrogen alpha, blue will be oxygen. And let's say OK. We are going to generate a single output. We're going to create a new image, and it will be RGB. So let's run. There we go. That was nice and quick for a change. All right, this is our new image. Let me shrink these guys up, get them out of our way. Let's see, make them bigger. Oh my Lord, that sucker is green as green can be. But don't worry, we do have something special underneath all that. Let's take a look at what the original one was. Now, if I had not done automatic background extraction, it would still be all bluey. Which, you know, we may like the bluey thing, but not really what we're going for today. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to start peeling away colors. And let's see, the first thing we want to do is we want to color calibrate this. So let's start with finding a spot on this image that looks like it's mostly background, not a whole lot of nebulosity. I could choose right through here. I probably will. It's about the darkest spot on the image. Now I've tried it off on the edges before and it still worked out pretty well. But let's zoom in. And let's create ourselves a little preview window. Right here, new preview mode, click, and draw yourself a window here of something in the background without any stars. All right, let's zoom back out and let's draw another preview window of the good stuff. There we go. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is neutralize our background. So that's background neutralization. Let's click over here and let's just look at our previews, and that'll be preview number 1. That is the background window. So let's say run, and it will quickly neutralize the background for us. We're not going to see well, I guess we are going to see that's really slimed out. Okay, so we're going for slime today. Well, let's go for color calibration, and oh heavens, let's see what happens here. The first part is the reference image is going to be, previews only, is the whole image, all the good stuff that we just chose. And we will come down here to our background reference and choose that preview number 1 again. Preview number 1. And let's run it. And I'll hold on tight here and see if we get greener and greener. All right, so that kind of toned down the green just a little bit. It still looks like a Hulk smash moment. Let's take our preview up here, preview, and delete all the previews. We don't need them anymore. And that's what we're left with here. Now, the first time I saw this, I went into freak out mode because everybody else's Hubble images were a cyany blue with an orangey brown color, and I just knew I had screwed it up. It seems like nobody wanted to show you that everything looks like the Incredible Hulk when you first get it. But if you use this process called SCNR, and the color you want to remove is green, and stick with the default here. So yeah, I'll reset it a few times. It's the default average neutral. And let's just run this. Make sure I'm going to run it on that image. And let's peel away that nasty looking green. There we go. Green, be gone. It's still kind of muted here, but you can start seeing that we've got the brown is starting to take place, and we've got some blue and maybe some cyan hiding in there, and we will start to make this all pop out some. So this is a huge improvement. Okay, so I am going to, let's give it a nice identifier here. Click. Come on, there we go. Right mouse click, identifier. And let's call this our SHO. Now keep in mind, if you do things in the wrong order and don't like how they come out, you can always sit here and undo. So don't be afraid. I back up all the time. All right, so now let's look at our noise going on in the image. It's time for us to start addressing that. And you see all that noise right there? Let's get rid of some of that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, let's zoom back out, is I want to extract the luminance level of this and start creating a mask. So I'm going to do a channel extraction, and I'm going to change over here to this CIE, A, and B. There we go. And I just want my luminance extracted from this image. So let's run it. And I should get a black and white image. And this is going to be my mask. Okay, let's stretch it and take a look at it. All right, and see, it's a black and white mask. But to use this, I need to make it non-linear. So let's unstretch it, and let's do it. All right, and see, it's a black and white mask. But to use this, I need to make it non-linear. So let's unstretch it, and let's do a screen transfer function. And let's open up the histogram transform. Let's give them both a nice little reset. And a reset there. Okay, now you see this little radioactive button? This will stretch it automatically. You grab this new instance button again, click, drag, and drop it on the line here of the histogram transformation. And it just transferred the histogram up to here. Let's reset. It's gone black again. Minimize it. Now you can do a live view if you wanted to see what it looked like. And that's what it'll look like once this is applied. Let's close. And let's run. And we are taking this luminance mask and making it non-linear. All right, let's minimize that. Now we can do something with this mask. And he is called SHO-L for luminance. Let's shrink him up. So let's go to Mask, select Mask. Well, let's not do that quite yet. Highlight my image. Now go to Mask, select Mask. And let's choose our SHO luminance, and let's invert it and say OK. And now that's the mask of what it's protecting. You can do a Control K and turn the mask on and off as a nice little toggle so you don't have it in your way. I'm going to zoom in on part of this image just so I can see how it looks when we're done. So now we've applied our mask, we need to go to Multi-Scale Linear Transformation. Now we need to choose our noise reduction portion. So on layer 1, we're going to take the threshold and we're going to move it up to a 4. We're going to take the amount down to half. And I got these numbers from the light vortex tutorials, and they've just always worked great for me, so I've left them. Okay, and iterations is going to be 3. So let's go to layer number 2. Let's turn on the noise reduction. We will leave this at 2, and the amount will be half. And you can just type these numbers in also if you didn't want to drag. And we will increase this to 2. And the third layer, we will drop this down to 2. And amount will be half again. And let's see, no, let's take this down to 1. And the iterations will be 2. That looks better. And 4, let's take it down to half. Amount is half. And iterations is 1. Okay? So to repeat, we've got 4, half, and 3. On layer 2, we've got 2, half, and 2. On layer 3, we've got 1, half, and 2. And on layer 4, we've got half, half, and 1. And those are our numbers. And down here, our target will stay as RGB. So let's run this. Just keep an eye on this noise here. It should smooth out some. All right, we're back, and you can see this is significantly smoothed out some. So let's look at the before. I'm just hitting the undo button so you can see the before again. There it is, and this is after it processes. So it really did smooth it out quite a bit more than I was expecting. So let me check my numbers again. Nope, the numbers are good. We will let it roll. All right, so let's zoom out and take a peek at this whole image here. There we go. Okay, so now that we've done that step, we want to remove our mask. So mask, remove. So click on there, and I'll do a Control-K a couple times. The mask is definitely gone. Okay, and this mask, let's delete it. We don't need it anymore. It'll just confuse us if we have it there. Okay, so, and now we've got our image, we've reduced the noise, it's still in the linear state. Now we need to make it non-linear. And let's hit our radioactive button, grab our new instance, drag and drop them over here. I'm going to reset the screen transfer and run the process. And there he is. See, that was much quicker than what I could ever do. Let's shrink. And let's go ahead and shrink up our screen transfer. So now you can see this is not really this is not a linear image anymore. Of course, it's trying to calculate something for me. But I just wanted to show you here when I click this button, it doesn't go black anymore. So the next thing we need to do is the second half of our noise reduction process. I'll zoom in so we can take a peek at it right now. And what I need to do is another channel extraction. It'll also be on the luminance layer. And let's run it. And this time we're going to take about the same numbers as we did before under the multi-scale linear transform, but we're just going to be a little bit more gentle with them. So this guy, he's already nonlinear, so I don't have to do any stretches to him. So what we need to do to this mask is make it a little bit stronger. And I'm going to do that with the histogram transformation button here. Let's give it a reset, and I'm going to go to the SHO luminance, and that's what its chart looks like. Let's knock that back down to 1 so you can see the whole graph. And I'll put on the live view here for you to see what I'm about to do. And we are going to hover over this button here, and it says Auto Clip Shadows. So I'm going to select it. Notice it gets a little darker. And this button here, let's hover for a little bit, it should be Auto Clip. Well, I guess it's going to make me wait for it. Auto Clip the highlights. So you click that, and now it gets really bright. And we're going to say, okay, run it. And this is what our next mask is going to look like. So let's reset this, minimize, and close the live view. And this is our mask. I'm going to minimize him, push him off to the side, highlight our main image again, and go to Mask, Select, our SHO luminance, and let's invert the mask again. Say OK. Now if I hit Command K or Control K, you can see that the mask is on, and it's just a toggle switch so we don't have to see it. And now let's go back to our multi-scale linear transformation. Boy, these are mouthfuls. It remembers our last settings, and we're just going to fine-tune them down just a little bit. So we're going to take this threshold and bump it down to 3. The amounts will stay at half all the way across, and this will drop down to 2 iterations. This one will stay the same, and layer 3 will get down to 1 iteration, and oops, down to 1. There we go. And the last one will stay the same also. And we're still on RGB, and we're going to run it. So now just keep an eye on this, and we'll see what the next noise reduction step will do to it. One thing about processing is it gives you lots of opportunities to get up, walk around, have a snack, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do. And in some of these steps you can cook a whole dinner. Alright, it's done processing. Let's zoom in on a spot here just to get an idea. And don't worry if you think this is getting too mushy, because in the end it really does turn out nicely. Let's undo that last step and see what it looked like before. There's before. And we'll redo it. And there's our after. So let's make this bigger again. See, he looks really good. Okay. So let's see. We've got, is my mask still on? Let's do Control K. Mask is still there. We've got one more noise reduction here. And that is this A, C, D, and R. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave the mask on. And the default is set up here. The standard deviation, let's increase this to 2. And we will take the amount down to 0.75. The iterations will stay at 3 and everything else will stay as default. And again, I got these numbers from the light vortex tutorials and they just work. So why change what works? Let's do apply. All right, that process is done. It looks pretty good from this angle, but let's zoom in and take another peek. Let's see what this one did for us. All right, this is the after. Let's do an undo and see what the before is. And it's subtle. Let's zoom in more so we can see better. That's before, and that's after. Sometimes I toggle these a few times just to see what it does. That looks pretty good. Zoom out and minimize this guy. Thank you for watching How to Finish Your Image Part 1. Please leave comments below. I love reading them. Part 2, we will make the elephant trunk look hot from not. Like and share with your Astro friends. Subscribe below and select the alert bell so you are notified when Part 2 is uploaded. This is Amy with Amy Astro. Clear skies and have a great day.